Guys, today I've got another plane from the Wings of War set. I've got a Neuport 23. I'm a fan of these planes. These were a French plane, and the most famous guy to fly one of these, I believe, the most famous sort of Allied guy was a British pilot called Mick Mannock. There's arguments over how many he got, but it's anywhere between the high 50s and the low 70s. Some of his kills weren't recorded. Comes in this. It's a Series 3 plane. We'll get out our little bits and bobs and we'll see what we've got. I suppose we should start with the plane really first. This is in French colours. You can repaint this in British colours. This is our little silver airplane. Some of the pilots in those days painted their planes certain colours. They thought it would make them harder to see in the air, and I can really see a silver plane being quite hard to see. Here's his little base that gives you all his information on it. He has movement deck I. He's only got a B gun, this Neuport, which is unfortunate. A B gun basically means you've only got one machine gun rather than two, and he's got 12 hit points. The difference with the airplane machine guns and the ground machine guns were basically, this is his little stock. You get 4 of these, but I only ever stick 2 on to display them in these videos because it'll be off the top of the shot. The difference with the airborne machine guns compared to the ground ones was the airborne ones was ramped up to fire more shots. Obviously they lost accuracy. Besides the fact that you're flying along in a little piece of canvas and some thin wires and some bits of wood, the ramping them up to fire more shots obviously made them less accurate, but it only takes the one good hit and your enemy would be down. This is how our little airplane looks in the air. I think it's not a bad little looking plane. I believe these planes had an issue with their bottom wing being thin, would be more apt to break, which made them slightly softer, but I'm sure if it was behind you and you were getting shot at, you wouldn't be worrying so much of this. The Neuport comes with this I maneuver deck. If we move this guy off to the side, here's his Immelman turn. Here's his little card that tells you all his information. And he has some good moves here. He has the normal sort of reasonable turns. I suppose you don't want to see 2 that are exactly the same. You can do a little swivel from side to side, and this is one of the useful ones here. If somebody's right up behind you, you could do a couple or 3 of these. Let's see. Of course, they have to be at the bottom of the deck. You have a couple of these that you can go sharp left, sharp right, stay on the same track. If somebody's ahead of you, gives you the chance of chasing them. The Neuport wasn't the fastest of planes. It's very much a mid-war plane. By the end of the war, against the SPADs and whatnot, they are sort of outdated. They don't have they have other little movements like so. They don't have the really tight cornering that some of the triplanes can do, some of the DR1s and whatnot. Even though this is a maneuverable airplane, it's not one of the cheesy planes. It's in my box because it was Mick Mannock's plane, and he may have been the top British ace. It's hard to know. Other guys round about the same score quibble about how many Mick actually got, because I think some of his, there's about 10 of them that may not have been seen by another pilot. They're just taking Mick's word for it. But you can correct me in this, guys. I may be wrong. For me, I like it. It gives you the option to fly as a Frenchman, which is great. It does. It gives you the option to repaint it green, fly it as some of the British guys flew these, some of the Americans as well flew these, some of the guys that joined up in the war before America actually joined in were in some of these. Can't remember the pilots offhand, but I think it's a nice looking little plane. I think it's not a plane you don't want to be playing against the late war, the DR7s and whatnot with this. You want to be playing against more the mid-war sort of planes. So all in all, guys, very useful little plane. I have managed to shoot down a camel with one of these, so it's not an impossible job with one of these, but again, it's not the easiest plane to work with. If you've used one, guys, stick some comments below. If your granda flew one, stick some comments below. If you're in Germany and your granda gets shot down by one, definitely stick in a comment below. And if you're in France and you're a big fan of these, go ahead. We don't have enough French guys. Everybody here thinks the French retreat too much, where I'm not a big fan of that theory. So get on, guys. I'll get on and I'll go and do some shooting down of some Germans with this, and I'll see you in another video.